In this video, guys, I want to talk about the Harbor Freight Chicago Electric 30-watt soldering iron. Now what this is an incredibly inexpensive soldering iron that you can get for $3 with a coupon. Now one of the soldering irons I've used for years is a really cheap Radio Shack soldering iron. This soldering iron, I think I purchased it around 2000, maybe the early 2000s. This has worked really well for me throughout the years. Made for Radio Shack in Taiwan, and I have no real complaints about it. It does take about 3 minutes to heat up, but it gives a good grip, and you're able to solder what you need to solder. And for me, that's anything from putting in a new car stereo to fixing a window motor or any other electrical items where the plastic on the electric wires, like the insulation, has oxidized and it's starting to crack or break away. So what I decided to do, just for the heck of it, was to pick up the $3 Chicago Electric soldering iron. And I have to say that it is, even though it's $3, it's pretty effective. If you guys are out there thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to get into soldering, to get a $3 soldering iron and to pick up just from some solder for 50 cents to $1, it's a great way to start soldering and start repairing things yourself. When using this, I've noticed a couple of things. Number one, it seems to heat up a little bit faster than the Radio Shack model. Now this is very old, so I'm not going to crack on this thing at all. But I would say that this heats up in about 3 minutes to where it'll melt solder. And this one heats up in about 2 minutes to the point where it'll melt solder. So I'm pretty happy with it. Now one drawback is that it doesn't have a plastic coating right here. You can see right here it's kind of hollow. It's kind of hollowed out a little bit. And what happens is that, when you use the Radio Shack one, the handle doesn't really get hot at all. I mean, there's maybe a slight temperature increase, but, nothing significant. Whereas when you're using the Chicago Electric one, you will notice this gets fairly hot. It's not so hot that it's uncomfortable, but it's on the borderline. So if you have it plugged in for a long time and you're using it, you're going to notice that when you're holding this, man, it does get hot in this upper area of the handle. Again, nothing too terrible. I mean, for a $3 soldering iron, I'm not complaining, but it's just something to take note of. The tips on these things, you'll see a Phillips screw on both of these. So these are replaceable. You can replace the tips. But, honestly, when the soldering iron costs $3, I mean, I don't know that Harbor Freight sells extra tips for this. And frankly, for $3, I'd probably just get another one of these instead. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to also, one more thing. The cord is about 5 feet, whereas the cord on the Radio Shack is closer to about 6 feet. So not quite as long a cord, but for the most part, it works really well. Sometimes you'll need a little bit of an extension cord depending on how you're using it, but certainly nothing bad. So anyway, guys, just wanted to quickly share with you this Chicago Electric $3 soldering iron with a coupon. One other thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is the use of heat shrink tubing. So heat shrink tubing or heat shrink wire wrap is a really good thing to have on hand, because anytime you do any soldering, you really don't want to use electrical tape, which can come undone later on. You usually are much better off going, sliding the heat shrink tubing over the wire, right, that you've just, that you're going to solder. And then obviously, you slide it away, do the solder, wait till it cools, then slide this over, okay? And then just use your heat gun and it will attach itself and wrap the wire to create some new insulation for you. And this is really good when your original insulation has oxidized and is starting to flake away, and you're getting a kind of exposed wiring and different issues like that. So anyways, I wanted just to make you aware that you can get this heat shrink tubing almost anywhere, Harbor Freight, different places you can get it. Just wanted to share that with you just as a little tip. And I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.